Nope, not the model train brand. Hi everyone, I'm Jacob, I'm the Cowhat Librarian, and I've got a graphic novel tonight. And it is Juniper Mae, Knight of Tykotech City by the very talented Sarah So. And this was great. I picked it up to read with my daughters, and we had a lot of fun reading it. So, Juniper Mae is a would-be inventor. She lives with her father and grandfather. The whereabouts of her mom and grandmother are not mentioned anywhere. And she lives in the fabulous Tykotech City, a high-tech paradise surrounded by an impenetrable wall. This city has limitless energy thanks to the core, an amazing power device, and things are pretty good until the core starts having weird outages. All the devices in the city that receive power wirelessly are subject to weird service interruptions, elevators that stop working while people are bored, wristwatches and phones and the like running out of power. Well, Mae is a young scientist and builder, and she likes tinkering in her family's repair shop. And she makes a personal jetpack that she names the Junie Jet 1.0. And she takes off. And she flies around the city in amazing loop-de-loops and heads out of control right over the wall into the forest. And she crashes. Now, Junie is terrified because there used to be beasts in the forest that were only kept away by the legendary guardian knights of days long ago. And there's a rustling in the woods, and she's scared. She grabs a stick to defend herself to see an odd creature walk out of the forest. It looks vaguely frog-like, and has a bit of an attitude, and introduces itself as a Tama. They're the creatures of the forest, and in days long past, the humans who ended up moving to Tykotech City and the Tama lived in peace in the forest, and the Guardian Knights defended them against the dangerous beasts of the wilderness. Over time, the beast attacks diminished as the Guardian Knights fought them off, and eventually there were no more beast attacks, the Guardian Knights disbanded, and the humans and the Tama went their separate ways. The Tama returned to the forest, and the humans went to the city. And they've lived separately, mostly unaware of each other ever since. So while in the forest, Juniper learns a few things about the Tama, learns that they grow a crop that seems to act as a power source for them, which is amazing given all the irregularities with the core in Tykotech City. And the Tama she meets shows her an artifact, a sword that was previously owned by the Guardian Knights. So she and the Tama take the sword, return to Tykotech City to her home, and she starts working on equipment to make herself the sort of thing she would need to be a new Guardian Knight. She uses the hilt of the sword and some technology to make a laser sword of that size. She makes armor and knee pads to protect herself against attacks and grass stains. She makes boots that allow her to run faster and jump higher. And she has to put them to use very quickly as giant robotic spiders attack Tykotech City. It was really good. Sarah So told a compelling story. Juniper Mae is an appealing character. The Tama are cute and funny. And while the story isn't completely original, it hits the big themes really well. Humans getting away from nature and losing their connections to things and having to deal with a crisis seemingly of their own making. It's well done. So's artwork is fantastic. Just beautiful line art, some great colors. She uses muted blue tones very effectively to indicate when Juniper Mae is out at night. The expressions are clear and wonderful. The art style looks vaguely reminiscent of Osamu Tezuka, A few of his manga, I feel like, weren't drawn a whole lot differently than this, and it provided some instant recognition for me personally. I really enjoyed it. And best of all, So did set this up for a sequel, and I will be excited to read it. I recommend it. If you read some of Osamu Tezuka's stuff, some of the Phoenix stories maybe, this is certainly a less mature version of Phoenix, but I could see you getting something out of this. If you liked things like the Amulet series by Kazuki Buishi, I think you'd really get a kick out of this. If you like Newsprints by Zoo, I think you'd like this one as well. Overall, I just recommend it. Now, with that said, it wasn't perfect, and there are spoilers ahead because I have to talk about the deal breakers. When Juniper Mae comes back into the city with the Tama Tama and she makes all her equipment, she's called into action to fight off these robotic spiders that are attacking the core and draining the city's power. She follows them to a hideout where she finds out that Kaya Kozan, daughter of the president of Tykotech, had made them and was controlling them and making them steal the power. But that they didn't cause the original outages. She was just taking advantage of it so that she could be the hero and solve a problem and get her mom to respect her and be with her again instead of always being tied up with other things. She was okay as a villain, even though her backstory was, of necessity, very, very condensed. What bothered me, though, is that Juniper Mae is an indeterminate age. She reads as a very young character. Like, honestly, I would be shocked if she was more than 8 or maybe 9 years old in this. And she makes some neat equipment, true, but then she charges into battle and defeats a horde of robotic spiders. I don't care how good of equipment you've made, and your laser sword is pretty nifty, you are not going to go into the battle for the first time with no real combat training, be able to wield that kind of weapon without hurting yourself, but also dispatching a ton of robots that could gang up on you. There needed to be a training montage where she trained with the Tamas, or where she did some research on the Guardian Knight's fighting techniques, or something to indicate where she got this fantastic skill set from. Because there's nothing. She shows up and fights the spiders, done. And it wasn't enough. Either there should have been something that she programmed in or that she was trained to do, and that part rang really, really false to me. Now, I will say my kids enjoyed it. My daughters loved it. But it felt like there was a real opportunity there to make it a little clearer as to what exactly is happening. The opening for the sequel, I'm thrilled about because I would like to read more, but it was generic shadowy figure approaches Kaya after she was sent home and indicates that their plans are underway for the next thing. And okay, that's fine. That's another fairly unoriginal thing. Not everything has to be perfectly original. It felt like a bit of a cliche. Man in the shadows with glasses says that there's more to come. Well, okay, it's fine. It's not subtle, it's not new, but it's fine. Like, I sound like I'm bagging on it a bit, but it's just because I enjoyed most of it so much that those things really poked out to me as just little things that might take an interested reader out of it a little bit. Still, I recommend it. Go borrow it from your local public library. And while I'm on that topic, if you use and appreciate the services offered by your public library, why not take just 1 minute and tell the powers that be exactly that? Tell your mayor, tell a council member, tell your MP or MLA that you use and appreciate the services offered by your public library. We're at a time where some public libraries are having trouble finding sustainable funding to continue improving the materials, programs, and services they offer. And a few good words in the right ears might make a world of difference. If by some chance you are a library staff member, don't forget that watching my videos counts as professional development time. With that, thank you for listening to me talk about A Girl with a Sword. By all means, please like, please subscribe, and please check back to see what else I have to talk about from the Cow Hat Library. Thank you. Bye now.